Kids Who Die by Langston Hughes, 1901 to 1967. This is for the kids who die, black and white, for kids will die certainly. The old and rich will live on a while as always, eating blood and gold, letting kids die. Kids will die in the swamps of Mississippi, organizing sharecroppers. Kids will die in the streets of Chicago, organizing workers. Kids will die in the orange groves of California, telling others to get together. Whites and Filipinos, Negroes and Mexicans, all kinds of kids will die, who don't believe in lies and bribes and contentment and a lousy peace. Of course the wise and the learned who pen editorials in the paper, and the gentlemen with doctor in front of their names, white and black who make surveys and write books, will live on weaving words to smother the kids who die. And the sleazy courts and the bribe-reaching police and the blood-loving generals and the money-loving preachers will all raise their hands against the kids who die, beating them with laws and clubs and bayonets and bullets to frighten the people. For the kids who die are like iron in the blood of the people. And the old and rich don't want the people to taste the iron of the kids who die. Don't want the people to get wise to their own power, to believe an Angelo Hendon, or even get together. Listen, kids who die. Maybe now there will be no monument for you except in our hearts. Maybe your bodies will be lost in a swamp, or a prison grave, or the potter's field, or the rivers where you drowned like Liebknecht. But the day will come, you assure yourselves that it is coming, when the marching feet of the masses will raise you for a living monument of love, and joy and laughter, and black hands and white hands clasped as one, and a song that reaches the sky, the song of the life triumphant through the kids who die. Okay, this is a poem by Langston Hughes. Langston Hughes was born in Missouri in the United States. He moved to New York as a young man, and he was a leading part of the Harlem Renaissance. The Harlem Renaissance was a group of African Americans who celebrated a revival of African art, music, poetry, politics, learning, and things like that. Langston Hughes was a great campaigner for freedom. He was a campaigner for the poor. He was a leading member of the civil rights movement. Now, what about this poem, Kids Who Die? This is for the kids who die. This is a poem about the young people who are being killed because they are fighting for freedom. It's talking about the hierarchy. It's talking about discrimination. It's talking about young people who call for unity, who call for solidarity among the workers, and are then stamped on by the powers that be. They are destroyed by the people at the top. They are destroyed by the rich and old. And these kids who are dying, these young people who are dying, they are trying to unite the people to bring about change against discrimination, about the destruction of people's rights, and he's writing this as a tribute to all of these young people who died. He makes a specific mention of Angelo Herndon, who was an African American labor organizer, and he was accused of insurrection. He was accused of trying to bring down the American government. But he's over 5 years he was prosecuted. But the Supreme Court found him innocent on 2 occasions, but this case went on for about 5 or 6 years. It also refers, I think, to Karl Liebknecht, who was a German socialist, an anti-militarist, who tried to make Germany a socialist republic. Although the poem refers to Liebknecht as being drowned, and I think he was actually shot, but he tried to make Germany a socialist republic. Liebknecht was directly descended from Martin Luther. And Liebknecht, his godparents were Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels. So, certainly an interesting person. Anyway, this is for the kids who die. This poem is dedicated to the young people who die, black and white. For kids will die, certainly. So this is dedicated to the black kids, to the white kids who die, because young people are going to die. The old and rich will live a while as always, eating blood and gold and letting kids die. So the rich, the powerful, the abusers, the leeches, as he put in America, Let America Live Again. The people in power will live on, and they will continue living off the gold which comes from the blood of the people, and they will let these young people die because the rich have no interest in equality. They have no interest in fairness. Kids will die in the swamps of Mississippi organizing sharecroppers. Sharecroppers are a type of poor farmers who work an area of land mutually, and then they share the crop that they get at the end. Kids will die in the streets of Chicago organizing workers. Young people who are trying to organize workers in Chicago will die. Kids will die in the orange groves of California, telling others to get together. So in the orange groves where the people pick the oranges, young people will die. Whites and Filipinos, Negroes and Mexicans, all kinds of kids will die. So people of all races will die, who don't believe in lies and bribes and contentment and a lousy peace. So these are people who don't believe in the lies that the politicians tell them, the bribes that are given to keep the workers down. They don't want a peaceful life. They want a fair life. They don't want peaceful injustice. Yeah, they're not looking for that. They're looking for peace and justice. Of course, the wise and the learned who pen editorials in the paper, and the gentlemen with doctor in front of their name. So, the intelligent people will just keep talking about this. They will write editorials in the paper. They will study this. White and black people who will make surveys. They will write books, and the intellectuals will write books. They will write words, and they will marginalize the words of the kids who die. They will smother them. So the intellectuals, they will decrease the power of these dead people by just writing about it. And the sleazy courts, the dirty courts, the bribe-reaching police, the police who ask for a bribe to look the other way, and the blood-loving generals, the military people who kill the strikers, and money-loving preachers and priests who are looking for money, will all raise their hands against the kids who die. So all of these people, all of the people in power, will attack these kids who die. They will beat them with laws and clubs and bayonets and bullets to frighten the people. So all of the status quo, all of the people in power will attack these kids who die because they want to frighten the people. They don't want people to be united. For the kids who die are like iron in the blood of the people. Because these kids, these are the strength of the people. These are strong. And the old and rich don't want the people to taste the iron of the kids who die. So unity is strength, and the rich, the status quo, don't want the people to be united. They don't want people to taste the power of following the words of the kids who die. Don't want the people to get wise to their own power, to believe in Angelo Herndon, or even get together. So they don't want to the poor to work together. They don't want unions. They don't want people fighting for freedom. They don't want to believe what Angelo Herndon said. He's organising labour. He's organising a union. They don't want people to believe that, so they attack them with the courts, with the law. Listen, kids who die. Maybe now there will be no monument for you except in our hearts. Maybe your bodies will be lost in a swamp. So he's talking to the kids who die, and he says there will be no monument for you. There will be nothing to say how wonderful you were, but you will be remembered in our hearts. And your bodies will probably be buried in a swamp. They will disappear. Or a prison grave, or the potter's field, or the rivers where you're drowned, like Liebknecht. So your people will, your bodies will be lost. They will be lost. They will go to a prison grave, or the hidden in a field, or the rivers where you're drowned. I think Liebknecht was buried in a prison grave. This is the German socialist who tried to make Germany a socialist country. But the day will come. You assure yourselves that it is coming, when the marching feet of the masses will raise for you a living monument of love and joy and laughter, and black hands and white hands clasped as one, and a song that reaches the sky. So you know that the day is coming where everybody, where all of the poor workers will join together, and they will make a monument of love to you, and there will be joy and laughter, and the poor blacks and the poor whites will hold each other's hands, and they will sing to the sky, and everybody will, and the poor and the oppressed will be free. The song of life triumphant through the kids who die. And that dream will only come through the deaths of the kids who fight against this injustice and die as a result of it. So, Kids Who Die by Langston Hughes.